Hey, good morning. Good morning from California. I am at a conference in Irvine, and I had to come outside because my hotel is like full of conference people. So it's kind of loud out here, but it was even louder in there. And I didn't have good Wi-Fi in my room. So here I am outside by the pool, and it's not warm. It's 57 degrees out, so I'm a little bit chilly, but good morning. It's Friday. It's coffee chat day. And I'm excited about today's coffee chat because I knew I was going to be here today when I did it. And I feel like this topic aligns with what I'm doing right now and what I'm going through. So I got a request. I think I told you guys a few weeks ago, I put out a request in our Get Your Pretty on Pretty's Facebook group and asked if there were some topics that you guys wanted to hear about. And I got lots of good suggestions, and one of them was more life coaching stuff. So at least once a month, I'm going to try to focus on some life coaching things, which I love. I love, 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 which you're going to hear more about in a minute. But yes, so today we're going to do something that is a life coaching exercise, and it may be something you've done before, but if not, it's beneficial to do it again, even if you have, because I feel like this is something that can change over a lifetime. And I'll give you a little background on why I picked this topic today. So what we're going to do is we're going to identify our values today. So you may have heard of organizations and corporations. If you've worked in corporate America, you may even have the company that you work for may have identified what their core values are and share those with everybody in their organization. So you guys kind of know what your North Star is, what you align with, and it helps to guide decision making within the company and just really guide your day-to-day work, right? Well, I like to take this exercise and apply it to my personal life. And this is something I discovered, let me say like 10 years ago. So some of you have heard me talk before about how I started my own personal development journey 12 years ago. I was in a pretty dark place, if I'm being totally honest. So I got to a point where I was suffering from depression and anxiety, ended up in the hospital a few times with panic attacks in the ER, which were super scary, and didn't know where any of this was coming from. And initially, I decided to take medication for it, but that didn't work out for me. I had bad reactions to it. So I had to figure something else out, a better solution. And I really think that's the first time that I got into therapy and started to really dig into, patterns from my past and things from my childhood, traumas, and, some decisions that I made in my 20s that weren't the best, but really just kind of dug in and figured all that stuff out. And it wasn't easy and it wasn't fun. And honestly, it's something that from that point forward, I've really devoted a lot of time and energy into just healing and growing as a person. And that's when I also discovered life coaching, because I went to therapy to figure out, like therapy's looking in the rearview mirror at what's happened in your past, but coaching is looking through the windshield and driving the car into what you want in the future. And life coaching really helped me to define my values, my goals, and to figure out how I wanted to move forward in life. So I'm kind of a personal development junkie, which is cool because that can carry over into what I do here. Get Your Pretty On is about style. It's about outfits. It's about feeling good in our skin. It's about being confident, but it's also about becoming better versions of ourselves and really just stepping out into the world in a new way. And I truly believe like it is never too late in life to make your mark and to continue to grow and develop. And that's something that I am deeply, deeply passionate about. So I feel like I'd be hiding a huge portion of myself from you guys if I wasn't sharing that. So anyway, this values exercise was something that my first life coach taught me how to do. And when I went through it the first time, I was like, wow, I never realized, that those things, I knew they were important to me, but I didn't realize that they were the things that could guide all of my decision making and make everything so much easier for me. And I'll tell you mine in a minute. But anyway, whenever I used to do this exercise with my coaching clients too, when I had one-on-one clients, they were always really enlightened by this. And I think that this is something that once you discover at one time, it really is something that sticks with you through the years. So, Yes, so I'm at a conference right now and I'm a total introvert. So networking to me is like the scariest word on planet Earth. I prefer just to stay in my house and work all the time. But this is really good for me because I try to get out at least once a year and come to a conference. I have to fill my tank up. And today I'm going to be learning from, some of my mentors in both the personal development space and in business. So I think it's a really cool thing to just fill your tank up once in a while. And if this is something you haven't done or something that scares you or it's totally outside your comfort zone, I highly recommend it. I never regret coming. I always get a little nervous beforehand, but I never regret doing it. So anyway, back to values, how this all ties in. So one of my top 3 values is personal development. And when I discovered this, it made everything click because I almost felt guilty in a way. I know that's terrible to say, but for wanting to constantly work on myself. Like I thought there was something wrong with me for a while because I didn't really know a lot of people at the time that were focused on this like I was, and it seemed like almost an obsession to me at one point. And so just acknowledging that and giving it some validation was super powerful. And just working through that with a life coach and having her say, no, this is great. This is a good trait. Don't be embarrassed of this. This is an awesome thing. So if you can relate to that, then I'm happy to have my fellow personal development junkies out there watching. So, okay. I also discovered that my second big value in life is freedom. So when I talk about freedom, I'm talking about like time freedom, being able to be with my family when I want and be more in control of my own calendar and my schedule, and having financial freedom, not being at the mercy of someone else, like a company that's in control of what my salary is or what my income is. So time and financial freedom are also huge values for me, which honestly has guided me in my career so incredibly well once I knew that. And it came at a time where I was leaving corporate America and trying to decide what was next. And the only thing that just kept coming up for me was to continue with Get Your Pretty On and see what happened with it, because it was one of the guiding principles was having this time and financial freedom aspect. And I knew that being my own boss and being an entrepreneur was the thing that was going to get me there. Not going back into corporate America, not, taking a job that was going to take a lot of my time or put me into a regimented schedule. I really wanted that freedom. And so that guided me with making a career decision. And then my number 1 value is family. So again, that is something that has guided every decision in my life for me. Just placing my family as my number 1 priority. And it just kind of aligns with that time freedom priority and just being able to be there for my family. And that also has helped to guide career decisions and a lot of other decisions in my life as well. So you can see how once you discover your values, it really does help to give you that North Star. So I can see why corporations and organizations do this. And I think it's super important for us to do it for ourselves too. So I have a worksheet for you today, and you can download it at getyourprettyon.com/values with an S, VALUES, and go through that sheet. I'm going to talk through it with you right now and tell you exactly how to use this worksheet. So in the download, you're going to go through a checklist of items, and I want you to place a check beside any of these that resonates with you as one of your top values. And then you're going to go through that list again. It's kind of a lengthy list, so but there's a reason for that. So you're going to go through that list again, and anything that you've placed a check mark beside, I want you to then place a star beside any of those values that just really hit you on a deeper level and have more of an emotional response and just resonate with you a little bit more. And then once you have that list done, I want you to take all your values that are similar to one another that you can kind of group into categories. So for instance, I'm going to go through one of the categories with you. So abundance, growth, wealth, security, freedom, independence, flexibility, and peace. Those might all fall into one category for you. And you should be able to lump these together in like categories so that you can kind of start picking and choosing which value within those categories is one of your core values. So by the time you go through this list 3 times and narrow it down, you should have a really good list of at least 3 to 5 different core values that are going to resonate with you. And you'll see some examples of this in the worksheet. So please download that. I'm not explaining it as well as you're going to be able to do it on your own. But yes, go ahead and download that values worksheet at getyourprettyon.com/values. You just have to put your email address in to grab that. And I would love to hear your values. So please share your top 3 to 5 core values. If you don't feel comfortable sharing them on the Facebook page or on Instagram, you can DM me, or you can also share them in the Get Your Pretty On Pretties private Facebook group. So I hope you guys will do this and let me know if this was enlightening for you, or if you've done this at any point in your life and you feel like it's time for a refresher to figure out what your core values are, then I would love to hear that. So, all right, thanks for tuning in this morning, guys. I am off to my conference. So I will see you guys back here next Friday. Have an awesome weekend. Bye.